I'm here to drop her off at the party.
Man, why are you here? I told you I don't want no dealings, no obligations, nothing. You had me thinking that this girl was mine for 6 years.
This ain't got nothing to do with her. This
What
between
you mean this
me
ain't got
and
nothing to do with
you.
her? So it ain't had nothing to do with my pockets either then for the last 6 years.
You are the only father she know. You've been her daddy for 6 years. Don't take this out on her.
I ain't taking it out on her.
I already talked to Dawn, and Dawn said it's okay for her to come to the party.
You supposed to be my blood.
It don't matter. I invited her.
The only reason I'm here is because Dawn said I could drop her off.
Y'all gotta go home. You,
Hold on,
her, and your brother gotta go.
Come up, my baby.
This ain't got nothing to do with her. You're not about to take this out on my baby.
Coming here.
That ain't right.
Look, bro, I ain't with this,
It's
bro.
my house. I told
I
you
ain't
to
messing
come.
with this party, man. Y'all
My
tripping,
baby
bro.
wanted her to come.
Y'all need to leave.
Hey, don't talk to my
We're
sister.
not
Bro,
going
you need to
nowhere.
leave.
My baby
You
wanted
need
her
to
to
leave,
come.
bro. I'm telling y'all need to leave.
Don't do this.
Y'all need to leave, bro.
Out of my house.
Y'all need to leave, bro.
My house.
Y'all need to leave.
Call Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rachah Kodash. That's who this word ignorantly calls God and Jesus Christ in the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. This is Brother Anan from Yah with a quick hit. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles across the four corners of the earth who rule well and teach well. First with the ones, with the elders and apostles that reside at the home of truth, and we know that truth lies at the home of great millstone. Big shout out to the elder men of Israel camp, Brother Kazak, whom I teach under. And shalom to the hopeful elect and a few aqua that watch and believe. As you just seen in that clip, this was an incident where Jake found out a child that he had been taking care of for 6 years. He found out it wasn't his. Now I do not know if this was a skit, because when I viewed the Jake's page, a lot of videos seem like skits, for views and stuff of that nature. But we're gonna use this clip as if it was real, because I think it was real. And even if it's not, it's just a skit. We still can apply this because these type of things still happen today amongst the nation of Israel, amongst our people. Okay, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. These are things that our women have carried on and done. There's Jakes out here that's been taking care of kids that think that they're theirs. Think that they've been taking care of someone else's seed the whole time. The woman that's committed adultery and went and laid with another man, and brought in another child that who you would think to be, yours, but it's not. This is a very common thing amongst Israel, and I just wanted to kind of get into it, make another video on it. I had made a previous adultery video earlier this week, and I found this clip and wanted to make a part 2, because the Lord said, "You adulterers, He will judge." Okay, you adulterers and you adulteresses, He will judge. Okay, and basically Jake didn't want to have no dealings with the baby or the woman, and he's not wrong for that. There's comments under there saying that, oh, he's wrong. He needs to be a father to that baby, and he's been in that baby's life all his life. He can't just cut off being a father. Why can't he? If the wickedness of the woman has distorted that type of relationship between a child and I'm gonna just say father figure, because she believes that's his father. I mean, yeah, she believes that he is her father. If the wickedness of a woman has distorted that and caused that to be tarnished, then whose fault is it? Because at the end of the day, that's not Jake's seed. That's not his child. He didn't make that child. The woman had other dealings. She went out, committed adultery, laid with another man, and had a seed, and had forced this man, time and money for 6 years, into believing that that's his child, you know. You know, uh, it's kind of hard for men to do. It's hard for men to do, to even have that be possible, to have a child and make a woman believe that is hers. You know, it's impossible. So women, you Zions could never understand what this means and or how this would ever feel, you know, in this situation. You know, y'all could never understand having a child amongst your partner, and you believing that it's not, and you find out it's not yours, because I mean it takes a woman and a man to reproduce. Okay, you know, you're not gonna. You get it. You get where I'm going. It's impossible. And with that being said, how likely and common this is amongst Israel, man. The Lord is gonna judge you adulteresses and you adulterers, man. Okay. And I have a quick scripture to show that Jake is not wrong for not wanting any dealings with that child or with her. Okay. It's in the Apocrypha. Hold on, Salaki. Matter of fact, it's in Sirach. Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 26, verse 9. No, this is not the scripture I wanted, but I'm still gonna read this scripture. I have another scripture that's gonna get straight to the point. But matter of fact, let me get that first. Bring in another. Okay, here we go. Salakia. I'm trying to find the exact verse where it says, hold on. I'm just starting verse 22 to the point. Okay, it says, this is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 23, verse 22. It says, thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. Okay. For first, she have disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly, she have trespassed against her own husband. Okay. So it's dealing with a woman that go out from amongst her husband and bring in another child, right? It says, first she have disobeyed the law of the Most High, and secondly, she have trespassed against her own husband. All right, why? Because she committed adultery. And thirdly, she have played the harlot in adultery and brought children by another man. Okay, she shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach shall not be blotted out. Okay, and this is the whole point, you know. So she brought in another heir, you know, another child by another man. You know, she has transgressed the law. She has disobeyed the law of the Most High. Okay, and she's committed adultery by being a whore. Okay, so this is how the Lord sees this, man. You know, this is how He sees this. He sees it to be wicked. He sees it to be wrong. Okay, you know, and Jake is not supposed to go back unto this woman either. You know, now that he's left, You know, she's trying to come reconcile and wing her way back in with the baby. You know, Jake he's not supposed to take her back as well. You know, because she's already been she's already committed adultery. Okay, you know, she's went and laid with another man. You know, and the scriptures say that if a man leave his wife, and she go out and lay unto another, you know, he should not go back to her. All right, I'm gonna get that as well. Jeremiah chapter 3. Jeremiah chapter 3 says, they say if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? So he's asking, like, if he go from her and become another, and she go become another man, shall he return unto her again? He says, shall not that land be greatly polluted? And that land is a reference of what? Of a vagina, man. You know, because if she go unto another man, and you know she lay with him, you know, her land is considered polluted. You know, because a woman is supposed to deal with one man, right? And Israel can't seem to wrap their heads around that, you know, due to Esau pushing a unrighteous decree as it's law for a man should be with only one woman and he can't have many wives, you know, when that's not in the scriptures. You know, scriptures speak on plenty of scriptures speak on plenty of our forefathers having many wives, man. Okay. Salaki. It says, but thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord. You see? It says, lift up thy eyes into the high places and see where thou hast not been lying with. In the ways hast thou sat for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness. Okay? So, he is not supposed to go back unto her. You know, he's not wrong for not wanting to deal. Okay? I mean, that's just scripture. If you know the ordinances of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and how the Israelite family is supposed to be, you know, and a man having multiple wives, you know, can have multiple wives and multiply with children, you know, and not that being the same with the role of a woman being able to have multiple sex partners, okay? Meaning dealing with multiple men, you know, because it's scientifically proven that a man's DNA stays in a woman for life, okay? You know, once a man ejaculates into a woman, you know, his sperm his life is in her, okay? It goes to certain parts of her body, goes to her brain, you know, and it's in there for life, man. That's why you have a lot of these split personality Zions out here that's ratchet and going crazy because they're dealing with all these Jakes life. How can I put it? They're dealing with all these Jakes sperm fighting inside of them, man. You know, and that's just the bare truth of it, you know. But you know, I just seen this clip and I just wanted to point that out, that Jake wasn't wrong, you know. And a lot of Israel was in the comments saying that Jake was wrong. He need to take care of the child, you know. Nah, you know, she has disobeyed the law of the Most High, man. She transgressed her husband, her man, and she's committed adultery. You know, she should be put away for that. You know, and he don't have to do nothing for those kids, man. You know, and you see that there's a lot of Jakes out here today that probably are going back. You know, simp ass Jakes are going back to women like that. You know, not standing on their integrity as a man. You know, and giving into a woman's shenanigans. You know, there's a clip that I should have put in there where she was trying to apologize, man. You know, saying, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry. What do you want me to do? No, she's lying, man. She's lying, because if you were sorry, you wouldn't have let this man take care of this child for 6 years without him knowing that it wasn't his child, man. You know, Zion is always she's gonna lie, man. You know, as a matter of fact, I got a scripture for that too. It's a scripture, I think, let me see. Verse 20 says, Proverbs 30 and 20 says, such is the way of an adulterous woman. She eateth and wipeth her mouth and saith, I have done no wickedness. You know? Basically she's not caring. She doesn't really care. You know? She don't think she's done nothing wrong. She did what she wanted to do in that moment and please herself when she stepped out and dealt with another man. And then got pregnant, you know? And didn't even think to be shamefaced and tell the man. What did she do instead? She let him take care of the child for 6 years, man. You know, and that's wrong. That's wrong. You know, but hopefully that was edifying. Until next time, shalom.